I never thought a simple family barbecue could shatter everything I believed about my own sister. The sun was warm that afternoon, the kind of golden light that makes everything feel safe and happy. Smoke rose from the grill, laughter floated through the backyard, and for a moment, I let myself believe we were just a normal family. My name is Elena, and for years I had been the quiet one. The younger sister who always showed up, always helped, always kept the peace. My older sister Sophia was the star. Beautiful, confident, the one everyone adored. She had married Mark, a Navy SEAL. Tall, broad-shouldered, with eyes that had seen things most of us could never imagine. People whispered about his deployments, his quiet strength. Sophia loved the attention that came with being a SEAL's wife. She wore it like a crown. I arrived early that day, like always, carrying 2 trays of homemade desserts and a big bowl of fresh salad. I wanted everything to be perfect. But the moment I stepped into the backyard, I felt it. That familiar sting of being invisible. Sophia was in the center of the circle, telling stories, her voice loud and sparkling. When she saw me, her smile tightened just a little. "Oh, look who finally decided to grace us with her presence," she said, loud enough for everyone to hear. A few cousins chuckled. "Elena, seriously? You brought salad again? We're not all on some sad little diet, you know." The words landed like small cuts. I forced a smile and set the food down. But she wasn't done. As the afternoon went on, she kept going. Little jabs wrapped in just joking laughs. "Eleanor's always been the responsible one. Or should I say boring? Careful everyone, don't ask her about her job. She might actually tell you about spreadsheets." Laughter rippled around the table. My cheeks burned. I sat there, clutching my glass, feeling smaller with every word. Our parents just smiled awkwardly. No one stopped her. No one ever did. But what I didn't know that day was that someone else was listening. Someone who didn't find it funny at all. I had spent my whole life in Sophia's shadow. While she chased excitement and married her handsome SEAL, I built something steady. After college, I joined a specialized support unit. Not glamorous, but important. I worked with elite teams on secure communications. My world was quiet, precise, and classified. Very few people knew the details. I never bragged. I never needed to. That afternoon, the mocking grew louder. Sophia leaned back in her chair, wine glass in hand, and announced to the whole group, "You know what's hilarious? My little sister still lives like she's waiting for permission to have a life. No boyfriend, no adventures. Just her safe little routines. Honestly, Elena, when are you going to grow up and do something that actually matters?" The backyard went quiet for a second. Then someone laughed nervously. My chest tightened. Tears pricked my eyes, but I swallowed them down. I had heard versions of this my entire life. How I was too quiet, too plain, too ordinary compared to her shining existence. I excused myself and walked toward the edge of the yard, needing air. My hands were shaking. In that moment, I felt so broken, so completely unseen by the people who were supposed to love me most. Years of being the reliable one, the one who dropped everything to help Sophia when her car broke down, when she needed money for a quick trip, when she cried after another fight with Mark. I had always been there. And this was how she repaid me, by humiliating me in front of our entire family. I stood under the old oak tree, trying to steady my breathing, when I heard heavy footsteps behind me. I turned. It was Mark. He had been quiet most of the afternoon. As usual, the strong, silent type. His expression was unreadable, but his eyes, they were different now. He looked at me for a long moment, then said in a low voice, "What's your call sign?" My heart stopped. I hadn't heard those words spoken out loud in years. Not in this world. Not at a family barbecue. I stared at him, stunned. How? How do you know I have one?" Mark's voice stayed calm, but there was steel underneath. I know who you are, Elena. I've seen the reports. Operation Shadow Veil. 3 years ago. You were Ghostwire. The name hit me like a wave. Ghostwire. My call sign from the classified comms unit. I had supported during a high-stakes mission. Only a handful of people on the planet knew that name. And Mark, my sister's husband, was one of them. He continued softly. I was on the ground team. Your coordination saved my squad when everything went dark. We never met face to face. But I never forgot the voice that pulled us through. Tears finally slipped down my cheeks. All this time, I had carried that secret alone. The long nights, the pressure, the fear I could never share with my family, because it was classified. And here was my sister's husband, the man she paraded around like a trophy, telling me he knew exactly who I really was. Meanwhile, back at the table, Sophia was still laughing, raising another toast to herself, completely unaware that the ground, beneath her perfect little world, had just begun to crack. Mark didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. He simply walked back to the group with me beside him. The laughter died down as people noticed his serious expression. Sophia looked up, still smiling, expecting another story about her amazing husband. Mark spoke clearly, so everyone could hear. Sophia, I need you to apologize to your sister. Right now. She blinked, confused. What? Mark, it was just a joke. He cut her off, his voice steady and commanding, the same voice that had led men through impossible missions. It wasn't a joke. You've been tearing her down for years while she's been doing work most people could never understand. Work that kept people like me alive. He turned to the family and continued. Elena isn't boring. She isn't ordinary. She has a call sign most of you will never know, and a courage most of you will never see. The next time any of you feel like laughing at her, remember that. Sophia's face went pale. The confident sparkle drained away as she realized her husband wasn't playing along. For the first time, she saw me, really saw me, and the weight of all her cruel little comments came crashing down. She stammered an apology, her voice small and shaky, but the damage was already done. The family looked uncomfortable. The laughter had completely vanished. That day changed everything. Sophia's perfect image cracked in front of everyone she cared about impressing. Mark made it clear he wouldn't tolerate her behavior anymore. Not toward me, not toward anyone. Their marriage faced real conversations in the weeks that followed. Hard ones. As for me, I finally stopped shrinking. I stood a little taller. I started sharing pieces of my story with the people who truly mattered. And I learned something powerful that afternoon under that old oak tree. You never know who is quietly watching. You never know whose respect you're losing while you chase applause from the crowd. And sometimes, the quietest person in the room carries the loudest strength. I no longer need my sister's approval to feel worthy. I know who I am now. Ghostwire, the woman who helped bring heroes home. And that knowledge, it brought me a peace no BBQ humiliation could ever take away. If there's one thing I want you to remember from my story, it's this. Be kind to the ones who seem ordinary, because the ones who stay silent often carry the biggest secrets and the strongest hearts. Thank you for listening. If this story touched you, share it with someone who needs to hear that their quiet strength matters. I'll see you in the next one.